Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Insane Gorilla, and welcome back to What If Deku Was a Mandalorian. Now, this one may have a few pauses in it. That's because it's actually going to be an hour long, hopefully. But the pauses will be because I might need to go somewhere, or the phone goes off, or something or other. There will be a few times where I do actually speak to you guys personally, where I just forgo the whole entire video just to say a few words. So, to answer a few other questions that you guys may have about the fight with Vader, Deku, and then Mace Windu, yes, I sort of did make Mace Windu have a bit of a bad hand. Come on, he was old. He was getting old, so he was a bit rusty, but not rusty enough to make sure that Vader lost his other hand. You know, the one where Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't cut off the other hand on Mustafar in Revenge of the Sith. Vader, Vader had it worse because he didn't just lose his other hand; he lost his dignity as well because he was damaged in such a way. But hey, moving on to where we last left off, where Deku got injured, aka stabbed through the guts from the lightsaber. Itru officially took over as she actually tells the Mandalorians to throw him into a Bacta tank, at least until they get somewhere more secure for him to recuperate. Now, a lot of Mandalorians disagree with her, saying we should really be taking the fight to the Imperials, even if our Mandalore's injured. With her retorting at them, saying that if they do, what's he going to say afterwards? Because he's been coming up with all the plans of attack, the different methods. He comes up with different methods each time. The more we throw the Imperials for a loop, the more they're going to be like saying what the living Minox is going on. But anyway, going to Izuku's perspective. This is what all he sees at the minute, because he's actually unconscious. Is he hears a bunch of voices, feminine female voices and gravelly men voices as well, all combined into one to make an echo. As they all echo as they say, "We have been watching you for a long, long time. You will not know who we are just yet. But know this: the fights you have endured, the wars you have fought, the people you have sacrificed and tried to save, your homeworld, your Mandalorian people, from the fight with Vader, a brutal tactician who is known to be the most deadliest sword combat, well, lightsaber duelist in the galaxy. But he is only second to one. You fought him 3 times. Once on Mandalore, once on your homeworld of Earth, and again, this time, he struck you a low blow. How will you react to his fight if you could? How would you be able to fight him again after this? Now, your second fight with Grand Admiral Thrawn. You left your people behind to go and save the woman you loved. Respectable, as a male's voice turns up. I did the same thing. But it's not easy to save a loved one, especially when she's a Mandalorian who is more than willing to die for you. She didn't want you to come and save her, and yet you did. That will have far-reaching consequences, as you quickly found out when you faced Darth Vader. Thrawn has been kicking the rebellion's ass for a while, but when he got word of Mandalorians kicking the Imperials' butts like rabid animals, he was sent to attack you. How do you respond to that? As all the other voices turn up again. Thrawn, Vader. 2 obstacles in your way. You refused people's help, people's guidance. We are surprised that you even accepted the help of Jedi Master Mace Windu. Yes, Mace Windu's lightsaber turns up. He fought beside you as he fought Vader. You were sitting there next to a tree, unconscious. When you finally came round, Vader decapitated him. Could you have saved him? Maybe. If you weren't so weak. As they move on, as another voice turns up, as it says, "This, son, you must stand against the darkness one day. I am not with you in person, but I am with you in spirit. The Empire was once the Republic. The Republic was order, and it does not brutalize its own civilians, even if they are aliens. At least the Republic had that going for it. Sure, there were politicians who were corrupt, but in all civilizations, you're going to have the ones who wanted to do good and others who wanted to do evil. Unfortunately, the Republic had mainly people who just wanted their own goals satisfied. Being satisfied. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Satisfied, whatever it's called. Fight for your honor as a Mandalorian. As he vanishes with Izuku, saying, "Wait, father, no." If you get that reference from a Star Wars game, good on you. Type it down in the comments who you know who it's from. As well, all the voices echo around him again. as a pain goes into Izuku's guts, as he sort of clenches it, as he sort of screams in pain, as a flashback of an image turns up, as he could hear multiple voices saying, "Deal with these Sith. We must make sure the Republic survive." As the guy gets cut down, as he sees a Sith warrior taking on 10 to 12 Jedi being pushed back just by him alone, as he cuts down 3, then holds off the other 2. As this Sith warrior just says, "You Jedi are weak, pathetic, foolish. The Sith Empire who always win. If you Jedi do not fight us seriously, your precious Republic will fall to one of our own one day." I'm surprised the Republic hasn't officially surrendered to the Sith Empire. There's a Jedi who speaks up saying, "The Republic stands for justice. The Jedi stand to defend the Republic." As this warrior speaks up again, "The Jedi have failed the Republic, and we laugh at you for it." As he cuts down another 2 Jedi, as he just remarks saying, "Look at you all, dying by a single Sith." As he gets stabbed in the chest from behind, as another Jedi turns up, saying, "Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Just because you kill Jedi doesn't mean another Jedi will turn up to kill you." As the image fades, Izuku gets back up, saying, What the hell?" As voices turn up again, saying, "That was a memory of one of us, your ancestors." As Izuku just stands there in horror, saying, But how? Was my ancestor the Sith? Or, or was he the Jedi that stabbed the Sith? As another voice turns up, saying, "He was a grey knight, a grey Jedi, one who walks in between the light and dark, striking perfect balance within himself." So think about this, young man. If you could face that Sith, what would you rather fight him with? The light, the dark, or both? As Ezekiel just says, "I don't know. I don't know whether to fight him with the light or the dark. I'll just fight him with whatever I have nearby." As a voice just says, "Not a good answer. You'd fight him with what? Your hands, your feet, your head, where he can cut you to pieces? Or a lightsaber, or a blaster, which I've used both in my time?" As another voice turns up saying, you mainly use lightsabers, not blasters. That's my specialty." As a female voice turns up saying, Your specialty is in pistols, Farron. Sorry, mother. As Zuki just says, you ain't real. You all ain't real. Why can't I get you out of my head? Just leave me alone. I beg you all, just get lost. As the red mist fades, as two lightsabers turn up, cross-guarded, revealing a mask and a hood. As this man says, "Do not trifle with us. We have faced far worse than what you are facing at the minute. So think about us. We have faced two empires, and we have triumphed over both of them. I faced a Sith Lord who was my oldest friend, and I killed him to save the Republic. Ta-da! If you know who this guy is, congratulations. Sorry for popping in unannounced like this, but I have to sort of give myself a bit of a break. Jesus Christ. I was hurting my throat a bit. But yes, you guys will know who this guy is. Especially when he said, well, I just said he had to kill his friend to save the Republic. Anyway, back to it. And you damn well better remember, boy. People have killed for less. I killed to save the Republic. Everybody kills to save something. Even he did. As Farron speaks up again. I was a spy for the Republic Special Services. For the SRS. For the SIS. Him? A Jedi turned Sith turned Jedi. Then vanished. A strong individual. One who knew exactly what he was doing. There's a difference also. Farron, allow me to explain it. As you wish, grandfather. As Farron walks off. Have you ever heard of the story of Darth Revan? As Ezekiel just nods, saying, how could I not? The Mandalorians speak of him as the biggest or worthiest opponent you could ever face. I'm glad people remember him, especially the Mandalorians. But I will tell you the history of Revan. He was born before the Mandalorian Wars started. On an unknown planet that I myself have forgotten, even though Revan told me it himself. He was a kind-hearted boy back then. Strong-willed. Refused to back down. Stood up to bullies all the time on his homeworld. Then the Jedi came and found him. And turned his life upside down. And no matter what he did, just try and go home, the Jedi found him. Eventually, he stayed with the Jedi and realized this was the place he was meant to be. After years of training at the Jedi Temple, going from master to master, learning, got a pool of knowledge from all the best Jedi Masters there. He sacrificed everything and nothing to achieve his own goals. He met a woman who called herself Treyas, then called herself Treya, then Darth Treya. She taught Revan everything she knew. Then the Mandalorian Wars happened. The Jedi refused to get involved because it turns out they wanted to analyze the Mandalorian threat. But Revan gathered allies in the Jedi Temple and left for war. When the Jedi went to arrest him to bring him back with his followers, Revan found a mask of a Mandalorian female who died trying to make sure civilians never were not slaughtered. And this is after he realized that the Mandalorian struck his home system. Maybe that's what put him on the path of destruction. Maybe it is, maybe it wasn't. But I'm surprised you haven't felt the pain in some time. Going off my Revan's backstory to tell you that, by the way, as Ezekiel just looks down, feeling his stomach, as he sort of says, "Yeah, why can't I feel it? Oh, I must have died. Never mind. Looks like I can listen to your stories all day." "Don't be ridiculous, boy. You ain't dead. You're alive. You would have turned into a blue ghost if you died. 'Cause you're clear of thought. Much better than Revan ever was, for sure. But I'm surprised. Or perhaps I shouldn't be, considering I am controlling your body." As Suki says, "What?" As he gets an image of where he is. I'm in a transport? "Yes, boy, you are indeed. We are going to a planet to retrieve something. Something that I think rightly belongs to you. But I will not tell you what it is, because you have to pass tests." "Tests? What tests?" "Test of will, test of strength, the test of facing the past without dying. I think you'll find the test rather enjoyable." As they go to hyperspace, as Deku sort of asks him, "So, am I with other Mandalorians?" As this figure just says, "No. We are on our own. This test was for you, and for you alone. Your woman is not required, nor your people. Although they may now think of you as a traitor, and a coward. As Deku just looks at him saying, "What did you do while I was speaking to you?" "Oh, only what I thought was necessary, and it was." "What did you do?" "Your woman tried to stop me from getting you out of that ship and into space. You still had your armor on, so I took it off. Dumped it on the floor of the ship. She tried to pull you around, turn you around. I force pushed her down the corridor and walked off. I believe she was screaming, 'You traitor! Don't you love me anymore? Or was our love nothing but insignificance to you? I can't believe I fell for a traitor and a coward to his own honor.'" As Deku just says, "You bastard. You motherless gundog. You do this just so I can complete one of your own damn tests. Do you have any idea the damage you've just caused?" "Yes, I do, boy. I do indeed, 'cause I've been through it. I've been through your pain." "And I dare not. And I do not want to put anybody else through that pain but you. 'Cause you require it." "Required to go through pain?" "Yeah, right. We're here, boy." As they drop out of hyperspace. Okay, ow. I seriously need to stop doing those voices. But if you guys are wondering why this man took control of his body, well, come to think of it as sleepwalking, so you don't really know what you're doing. But he force pushed Idril down the corridor because the Mandalorians were rushing to make sure Izuku survived. They didn't really take off the armor, which is sort of a plot, which was sort of the plot for me. And well, when Idril called him a traitor, somebody turned up and said he's no traitor. I'll let you know who that is later on. As well, we'll go back to the story. Izuku dropped out of hyperspace, then saw a planet. I know it's Hoth, don't worry. As this man says, "Welcome to Ilum." To the Ilum system. A great Jedi temple that lies on the planet's surface. One ancient and destroyed. There you will face the tests. Your first one, though, is finding that temple and walking through it. No, not through it, walking to it. I cannot help you, because I will be waiting there. As he sort of echoes away, starts to echo, as he just says, "You will not need your lightsaber for this. So don't use it. Don't take it either." As Azuki just says, beginning landing sequence. As he starts feeling the pain, as he snaps back to reality. If you get that reference, good for you. As he sort of starts groaning in pain, saying, I wish I knew who that was. Idril didn't deserve that. I'll make sure to apologize to her when I get back. Damn. Need to find a safe landing zone. He said I don't need my lightsaber. I'll take the saber with me anyway. Because I'm picking up great Imperial signals. As long as they don't detect me, I'll be fine. But, wait. Let's see if I can contact her. Saying, come to the Ilum system. Imperials are here. Sorry for what I've done. But I wasn't in control. Yeah, that should make her happy. Or not. No, her, she'll follow the signal and shoot me in the face. Which, personally, I would deserve. Even though it wasn't my fault. Wait. What? He must have made me break the entire system. Damn it. Let's see if the track is still online. As he sort of screams and slams his fist onto the board as he realizes that the comms and the tracking beacon have all been disabled. It'll take him months to try and fix them. Especially because they had a lightsaber go through them. As he finds a landing zone that's far enough away from the imps, as he gets off, well, just lands and walks through the cold terrain of Ilum. As he starts to freeze because he hasn't got his armor. As he just says to himself, wish there was another coat of armor there. Jesus, it's cold. Why would the Jedi build a temple on the broken fridge? In a bloody freezer. Or on a freezer, or a freezer of a planet. Just hope I don't meet a Wampa or anything. Because if I do, oh no. If I do, that would be good. Because then I'll skin him. Take his fur. Damn, it's so cold. A Wampa I could seriously use with your fur right now. As he continues walking, as he thinks he can start hearing sounds of combat, but it's all around him. Screams, gunfire, clashes of lightsabers, people shouting, saying, take the Imperials down now. You must save the crystals, the Kyber crystals. As Izuku continues walking forward, the sounds of the battle gets louder and louder and louder. Eventually he hears the Emperor's wrath is here. The Imperials have a strong ally. Damn. All we need now is a herd of Minox to come through to really shape the battlefield. As well, Zuko starts seeing images, moving images of Republic soldiers from the old Republic era, Jedi walking, running alongside them, Sith and Jedi clashing lightsabers together, some even throwing fists at each other's faces to get the upper hand in their duels. Then he sees it. The Emperor's wrath, a pure-blooded Sith Lord, full of malice and hatred. Even though he knows it's just a mirage, perhaps, he can feel the malice and hatred from him. Then everything gets clearer of the battle zone. There were 2,000 Imperials and 2,000 Republic soldiers, 500 Sith and 558 Jedi, overcoming impossible odds of facing against the Sith Empire. It's the Sith Empire, as a soldier of the Empire, says, we need those crystals if our empire is going to survive another year. We need the Kyber crystals. As the Jedi say, the Empire will fall due to its own weight of stupidity, and because it won't work with others that are not human. And this actually coming from a Rhodian female on the Republic side. As the Empire starts fighting even harder, eventually pushing the Republic back, as the Republic launches another counterattack, swiftly pushing the Empire back to its own borders. As Izuku finally reaches the Jedi Temple, the final battle between the Sith warrior that turned out to be the Emperor's wrath ended. But as soon as he gets there, a red lightsaber appears out of nowhere and slices upwards, missing Izuku's nose by a few centimeters. As he jumps back, grabbing the darksaber and activating it. As this Sith was Revan. As Izuku starts shaking his head, saying, "What the hell? This can't be real. You're dead." As Revan just says, "Apparently I have to come back again to correct mistakes. It was wrong to bring you here. I thought you would be strong enough, but apparently you're so weak that you get distracted so easily with images from the past of this world. Bloody past of the world. Now you will die here by my hand, as all Jedi have at one point or another." As Zuko and Revan lock blades. As he says, "I was meant to meet someone here at this temple. I guess you're that person then." But I guess you just wanted to kill me, far away from others. Are you scared of me? Or are you just bloated with your own ego? As Revan just responds, saying, I fear no Mandalorian. I slew a Mandalorian, the Mandalore, in my own time. Single combat. But when he died, he told me there was a greater threat still out there. The ancient Sith Empire that was slowly rebuilding itself. So I chose to fight it. I found it, went to its emperor, and was defeated, and turned to the dark side, which was, to me, the best thing I've ever done, but also the worst. As he breaks off, stands still, and starts going in rapid attacks, singeing Zuko for a bit. As Zuko could feel the heat and malice coming from each strike. Revan then backs off, throwing lightning bolt after lightning bolt at him, with Izuku barely able to even deflect one before the next one hit him smack in the chest. As Revan walks up to him, saying, weak, pathetic, not worth my time. You call yourself a Mandalorian, I call you the weakest Mandalore to ever live. As he just walks off, fading into the shadows. As another voice, a female voice, just simply says, get up. Go after him and get him. No matter what, you are stronger. Go. And by the way, this is what Deku looks like now. Because I'm going to say this. That stuff was just simply lying around on the floor. So he just simply got it. Had to make a fire quickly. Or somehow made a fire. Nah, just joking. He went back to his ship and used his engines to defrost it all. And just simply went back to where he was. Failed to say that part. I do apologise. As he then runs, just walks. Walks into the Jedi Temple's ruins. As he sort of sees two Imperial scouts, as he can hear them say, well, do you see anything? No. Why did we hear clashes of some sort? Possibly the Jedi these ruins. These ruins held a lot of secrets. And a lot of bad pasts. Apparently, when the ancient Sith Empire was here, they tried taking all the crystals for some super weapon or something. Or for some stealth armada, whatever it was. Real shame, really. I'd actually like to see what this place used to look like. But, before it came crashing down, you and me both. Wait. Over there! Jedi! Call for reinforcements. As the two scout troopers call for reinforcements. As Zuko somehow makes it over to them and slices them, cuts them down, with them both screaming. As he hears a word saying, "Troopers! Troopers! Send gunships 29-S and B-29 and ST-6949 with with 3 teams and get down there. We lost contact with 2 scout troopers." As he hears, "Yes, sir. It'll be 20 minutes until they're ready." As he just curses himself, saying, "Stupid. Should have seen this coming already. Damn it. Some Mandalore I am." As he sort of questions himself, saying, "What's the point? What's the point anymore? If I'm no Mandalore, then I shouldn't be leading. Maybe it'll be best if I just vanish. I'm sorry, Idril. I was actually getting prepared to take you out on a date. Take you to Earth. To show you its sights. Don't get distracted." As the 2 lightsabers then activate as they swing at him. As with Izuku then just jumping out the way as they hit the ground. As Izuku just then turns around to see Revan once again, but with a purple and red lightsaber. This is just simply shouts, "Damn it, Revan. So what are you now? Sith and Jedi? I am a grey Jedi. You should have already gathered that by now." I should have gathered up a lot of things, but I never did. How could I? So distracted with other things. I should be really focused. As he activates his lightsaber again, "On you. Good. Now, you're not going to be facing me by my lonesome. You're not just going to be facing me on my lonesome. I think she will love to test you as well." "She? Who's she?" "I think you'll love her. She's my wife." As another lightsaber turns up, as she shouts, "So, boy, how would you feel to take on a fallen and redeemed Jedi and his Jedi mistress? I think you'll enjoy our company very well. My name is Bastila Shan, wife to Revan, the great Jedi hero and the great Jedi killer. You definitely killed my heart, that's for sure." "Sorry." As Revan just sort of whispers, even though Bastila could hear it, along with Zuko. As she sort of elbows him, saying, "Enough chit chat. Let's see what he can do against 2 Jedi. Well, half Jedi and half Sith. I'm a grey Jedi, Bastila." As Izuku gets himself into a combat stance, as Revan gets in his own, with Bastila also getting in one. As she starts running, as she jumps along with Revan who throws his lightsaber as Izuku blocks Bastila Shan's strike, but gets cut by Revan's lightsaber that he threw. As he sort of staggers, as Bastila swings her lightsaber at him again, as he just deflects it. As she then comes in for more and more strikes. As Revan just stands there at the back, as Bastila makes sure that Izuku is thoroughly on the back foot. As she just taunts him, saying, "Is that all you got? No wonder why you're failing so much. If you can't pass the test, then you won't be able to get what rightfully belongs to you. Has the generations got this weak since our time? Hey, Revan?" As she just force pushes herself back with a forced leap. With Revan just saying, "It's fault, Bastila. War was not part of his day-to-day life like it was with us. This is shameful, even to him. Today, to pass your trials, you will be being trained by us. No exceptions." As Izuku sort of collapses onto the floor, panting, saying, "Fine. I'll be honored to be trained by you. Good boy. Because your training is going to be rough." So, just to let you know, Deku was 19 when we last left off. He's now 22 years old due to this training, reaching his 23rd birthday. As Revan and Bastila finally say, "Right, time for you to face the challenges once again. The 3 years we have trained you will be enough. Now pick in your combat stats. Form 5 and 4 are your strongest. Your weakest is Form 3 and 2. As Deku makes a mixture of 4 and 3. As he says, "I want to try something different for this test. To pass it, I must try and overcome my weaknesses." As Revan, well, because Izuku can't see his face underneath the mask, but he can tell Revan smirked. As he looks at Bastila, he just sort of sheds a tear, saying, "Good. Looks like our training didn't go for nothing." As she activates her lightsaber. But this time she activates another part of it. She's a two-handed wielder. As Revan activates his lightsabers. As he just says, "Time for you to face your first and final ever test. If you succeed, you'll get what you deserve. But if you fail, we go straight back to square one. We managed to avoid all of the Imperials so far. So they think that the Jedi that was here must have left. So now they go back to doing what they do best, forgetting. But when you walk out of this final test, they will fear you. And perhaps he will appear. You know who I talk of. Vader. Yes, Vader. I think the long-awaited rematch will finally happen today. Now fight us, as if your life depended on it. As now Revan is the first one to charge in, with Vascular going into her, well, battles, battle meditation, helping both of them out. Because she knows that Revan is a very strong and aggressive guy, but a brilliant tactician. So she decides to give them both battle meditation to keep them on even footing. As Zuko notices this, as he says, Bascular, stop using your battle meditation on me. I've trained under you guys, so if I can't defeat Revan with you using if I can't defeat Revan with my own strength, then what kind of person will I be? What leader should I be? Using the strength of others. Come at me, both of you. As well, Basker picks up her lightsaber again, which she didn't turn it off, for some odd reason, as she runs at Zuko as well. Him actually somehow managing to push Revan back after the years of training. Through time and time again, they battle and fight. Revan actually taking a few hits this time. Yeah, Zuko is still taking heavy damage, but that's because of Revan. Revan's very aggressive, and plus he's got two lightsabers, with Bascular Shan just coming along, throwing her own little jabs in here and there. With, Zuko actually picking up one of Revan's lightsabers after kicking him, as he picks up the red one. As he sort of does a sort of another stance with both lightsabers. As Bashkula then makes her lightsaber go into two. Sort of like Asajj Ventress does in the Clone Wars, which just twists it and it becomes two different lightsabers. I'm doing that because that sounds better, in my opinion. So she goes along, starts dueling with him. Him actually fighting on even footing with Revan and Bascular at the same time. With Bascular smiling and with Revan, with such big grin on his face, even though you can't see it, he eventually force pushes Bascular away as he force pulls one of her lightsabers and holds it in his hand as well, saying, "Alright then, now the fight gets done properly." As Bascular sort of kneels down saying, yeah, I'm out of strength. And eventually, after 2 whole days of fighting, those two didn't stop. He finally defeats Revan. With Revan on the ground with his mask off as it reveals his face. A scarred man. As he says, well done. You've passed your test. Deep within that cave. Because when they were fighting, they were moving. As he just says, deep within that cave, you'll find three things. 3 things that I think you'll like. But just remember, who you are does not mean you should always follow the path that was set before you. Make your own path, make your own destiny. You'll see that the paths that you make on your own destiny will lead to different outcomes, different consequences, but a different future as well. There are a lot of things that can be born out in the darkness. But you strike a balance between the dark and light. You will be fully at peace. But beware of traps and trickery. There'll be a lot of things in there that you are not prepared for. We will wait here as you complete your task. As Izuku walks in, as he ventures around for a few days, well, not for a few days, for a few weeks, for a few hours, mainly around about 5, he gets a flashback, but this time he's there, in the flashback. So, you've come. At long last, I can finally kill you. As the metallic voice of Darth Vader appears. Great. Is this a trickery? Trap? Can't sense you, so it's a trap. Oh, really? As he sort of swings down, slicing off some of Izuku's hair and some of his clothing. As he sort of gets up quickly, says, alright, maybe it's not a trap. May not be trickery either. As they both fight. As Vader starts asking him questions. You call yourself a Mandalorian, but what's your code of honor? The code of honor is to defend the innocent and weak against power-hungry tyrants like you and your emperor. What happens when your Mandalorians realize that you were once their great enemy? Their great slayers. What would they say of you then? What are you talking about? You don't know your own past, who you're related to. I know my father's a Jedi, but do you know who he is related to? He gave up his last name for your mother's last name to hide his truth away from you. Ask him when you see him. What are you talking about, Vader? As all you can hear is the metallic breathing. As Vader just says, ask him when you see him. Or better yet, ask your mother why when you find her again. She has gone back to the planet you used to call home for all your life. She's gone back to Earth. But as he drops his guard, as Vader slices him in the arm, quickly snapping him out of his stupor. Focus on me at the minute. I am your opponent. As eventually, after another few hours of fighting, Vader was soundly defeated as he vanishes into thin air. As the Zuku finally walks in to what seems to be a tomb of some sort, as Revan finally appears, but not as himself. As he sort of says, Revan, I thought you said you were waiting outside. As he doesn't answer, as Izuku puts his lightsaber up to him, see if he'll flinch, to only realise that it's a picture of Revan, still in pristine condition. As he walks around, looking at everything, he then sees what he was here for. A lightsaber. A pretty good one. But Izuku continues walking around for a bit, leaving a marker so he knows where to go. Exploring everything, feeling that something is not quite right. It's not that simple. To defeat his greatest adversary, then he can just retrieve what he wants, what he deserves, and leaving. There's more to it. As he walks around, finding panels filled with data that turned out to be, well, virtually information troves of vaults or whatever. As he looks through them, he sees the history of Ilum, the history of the Eternal Fleet when it turned up. All this was done and stored in a vault for Revan by the Revanchists, or the Revanites, that still lived on even after Revan's death, and his absorption back into the light side of him on Yavin 4. The Revanchists were still going on, finding information and storing it in great vaults for Revan, as if he was still a part of them. Eventually, all the Revanchists were found out and killed by the Sith Empire or imprisoned by the Republic. All of them dying in prison, or being let out after a few years to do community services, only to be killed by gangs. or killed by Imperial assassins. And then he finds a key to a secret chest somewhere deep beneath where the lightsaber was. So Izuku starts digging and digging until he finds a stairwell. As he walks deeper into the depths of the tomb of Revan. As he finds chest, as he sees the words, "Whoever finds the chest of Revan is worthy of his secret." Revan was the man who walked between the light and dark. He never faltered. He never let his compassions die. He lives in all. No matter what. If anybody finds this chest and has been tested properly, they are a true Revanchist or Revanite. Welcome to the Order, brother, sister, whoever. As Izuku finishes his read of it, he opens it up and reveals what he was truly searching for. As he puts it on, he feels the history of it. But now he had a new problem. Due to his training with Revan and Bastila, his power with the Force tripled or quadrupled in strength. He was powerful. He had strength. He could wipe out the entire empire by himself if it came down crashing on top of him. He could possibly even rip a Star Destroyer out of the sky. But he also felt that this power was too damaging if he tried to use it properly. Or if he used it improperly, it could end up swallowing him whole and making him just hungry for power. So he needed to strike a balance between the dark and light. So he meditated for days until he finally hit a concordance. The power must be used only in dire consequence, in dire straits. If he uses it for anything less than a dire strait, he will use it again and again until he realizes too late of the damage that he has caused. So now he must go. As he leaves, he sees a Star Destroyer above him as it then unloads 12 dropships full of troopers, as he rushes outside to meet them face to face. As the dropships land, unloading all of their soldiers, as they see this man with robes and a mask. The troopers that were sent to fight start shaking in fear. As it's visible to see that the people that he was fighting were new to Ilum, so he didn't need to kill them. He just looked at them as they all were shaking. As one of them perks up, shaking, with her voice trembling, saying, "Surrender. You're outnumbered, Jedi. This is your first and last warning. Stand down, please. Don't make us do this." As Zuko just speaks in his own tone, but because he's got the mask of Revan on, his voice is a lot deeper. You're shaking. Your fear betrays you. You're so scared you can't even aim correctly. Look at you all, cowering in the sand, cowering in the snow, like children. If this is what the Empire that I have fought time and time again with my Mandalorian allies, then this Empire deserves to be crushed. Go now, return to your pathetic masters, shaking in your boots like you are, and let them decide your fate. Or you can be men and women who have been trained to do one thing: fight and die. Choose now, or forever hold your peace. As these people just look at each other, as they just drop their weapons and run, all apart from a few, who are still shaking, but the resolve to stay compelled them to fire, as they did. As Izuku just stood there, as the shots go past him. If that was meant to scare me, you failed. As he just says, boo, as they just drop their weapons and start running. As he says, ha, cowards. Nothing but cowards, every last one of you. Now, where did I park my ship? So long I forgot where I parked it. Oh well. Looks like I gotta go traipsing through the snow again. I wonder if I can get one of their gunships. Nah, I'll just walk. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm leaving it. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe. And see you in the next one.